Could this be the week we see a Premier League title winner? Well, it's game week 33, 10 fixtures with Thogden. How are you feeling?
Game week 33, this season is almost over. It feels like yesterday was beginning.
Please subscribe. I know that sounds weird, and I'd never say this on the second channel, but we're actually really close to 150,000 subs.
Wow, cool.
So half the people that watch these videos, 50%, aren't actually subscribed, but watch it because it comes up on the homepage.
Wait a minute, there's a person there.
Please just subscribe. I mean, it's
Who's not
completely free
subscribed?
to do that, and if we hit 150, we'll have a big promotion party. Thogden will say the famous quote, okay, so subscribe right now. And I want to hear the points this year because I'm making a comeback.
Well, this year you're not, but last week, Theo, I got 6, you got 7, so nothing to cheer about, really.
Oh, okay. Well, what's the first match then?
The first match is Brentford against Brighton and Hove Albion. It's 11th against 10th. A bit of a mid-table clash, but more importantly, Theo, the battle of the owners. It's Matt Benham against Tony Bloom, who hate each other. Great owners, but they hate each other, don't they, Theo?
Then why have the last two fixtures ended 0-0?
Because both of these teams have got a really poor run of form. Now, Brentford got a point at the Emirates. I suppose Arsenal's minds were elsewhere.
Yeah.
But Brighton could only manage a point against Leicester.
No, it's not good at all. The Bees haven't won at home now in 9 games.
Yeah.
So imagine the season ticket holders. Comment down below if you're one of those guys who have turned up 9 times in a row and you still haven't seen a win. But it's not much better at Brighton because they're losing to bad teams. Their recent form, they should be picking up points. Didn't they drop points to a relegated team last minute last game?
It was against Leicester, Theo.
Yeah.
Now, 2 points in 4 games is not good enough. But this game, the last 2 times, has been 0-0. So should we just say 0-0 and get it over with?
I'm going to go for another draw, but a 1-1. I can see Brentford scoring like they did at the Emirates, getting 1. Something for the fans to cheer about. It's what they need.
Yeah, João Pedro got 2, didn't he, last week from the spot. He's going to get 1. It's got to be a 1-1 draw.
We agree.
West Ham United against Southampton now is 17th against 20th. It's a bargain basement battle. You see what I did there? Alliteration, Theo. I've remembered my GCSE English literature, but this game, do we even talk about it? Because West Ham at the moment, admittedly quite good against Liverpool. They should have got a point there.
I've heard they played well, but they lost 2-1, and it's another match with 0 points for them, which will annoy the fans. But I think everybody's just waiting for that season to be over.
Yes.
You know, I think even West Ham fans are more interested in how Arsenal do in the Champions League than how they finish the season. And it's a completely different club. That's what I think. But it doesn't matter. They're playing Southampton at home. It's an absolute must-win game. And for Graham Potter, he needs 3 points, or it will be a bit embarrassing at the London Stadium. So I'm going to predict it. I think Jared Bowen could have some fun, but I'm going to go for a 2-0 win.
Do you know what, Theo? A piece of advice to the manager, Nicholas Fulkrug, playing from the start, and he will score against Southampton because Southampton are trying not to be the worst Premier League team of all time. They got 10 points. They need 11 points to catch up to Derby. What was that, 2008? And I think West Ham, they've got to win this
Fulkrug, it's funny, he's like a new signing for next year. We haven't even seen his full potential. It's really a shame. They got a Champions League finalist and nearly a German league winner, and then he just got injured out of nowhere. So next season, they can kick on under their new manager too, but this will be a very winnable fixture. So 2-0.
It's a miserable season for both. It's going to be West Ham 2-0. Everton against Manchester City is 13th against 5th. It's a tasty Lancashire derby between 2 sides who won last week. And for Everton, who, by the way, have only lost 10 times this season, that ain't
amazing,
bad. Decore, last-minute winner against Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, David Moyes doing a great job for them. I mean, I think that's 2 losses now in the last 13 matches. The squad looks solid every time they put in a good fight. Of course, they lost the Merseyside derby, but they did very well in the other fixture at Goodison. So that's memory and histories inside that stadium. This is one of the final games that they're going to play at Goodison Park as well. Great memories. Will they get a result? It's going to be difficult. Man City just put 5 past Crystal Palace after being 2 goals down. I think they've got character, and with Marmoush up top, they've got a finisher. He seems to be absolute red hot right now. You give him half a chance. Apparently his missus' his good luck charm goes to every game.
Now, Everton, very hard to beat at home, Theo. And David Moyes, I think in terms of his form, it's top 6 since he came in. But Man City, you get the feeling they've just clicked into gear. It's going to be tough for Everton.
Well, I think for Man City, after looking at the recent form and the way they're playing the new academy players, like Nick O'Reilly's really starting to fit in that new system, and a lot of other players, we're seeing more of McAtee. I think City will still get the job done. 2-0. Pep needs it as well for Champions League spots, and I think they'll get 3 points.
This is either going to be a draw or there's going to be 1 goal in it. So I'm going to go Everton 0, Man City 1.
Because you have to remember as well, that 5th spot is Champions League now, thanks to the new coefficient, where Man City are right now. So 3 points from both of us, it's likely. I would tip it, guys.
And by the way, it's turning into a real race, isn't it, for the top 5? It's basically 5 from 7, isn't it?
A lot of people have a shot at the Champions League, and that's the most, I mean, look at how exciting it is.
Yeah.
You know, there's an English team left, 1 goal away from a second English team being there as well. It's possible. Anyone can make it this far. It's a tournament where nobody stands out right now, not even Real Madrid. Get there, and I think City will get the job done.
Crystal Palace against Bournemouth is another mid-table clash. It's 12th against 8th. But I've got to ask you, Theo, what has happened to Crystal Palace? Because a week ago, we sat in these chairs and said Crystal Palace have got the best away record defensively. A week later, 2 games, 10 goals conceded.
The whole squad must have put our Prem predictions on and thought, guys, they've jinxed us now.
I'm sorry about that.
We're changing form. We're going to lose and concede 5 every week now. now. I don't know what's happened.
Do you know what? I predicted 2 Crystal Palace defeats last week, and I thought, you know what, I'm being harsh, and Crystal Palace fans are going to have a go at me. And I thought it'd be 1-0, 1-0.
In the comments, they're like, Thogden, you are a mug. But they should have listened to you.
But I've got a question for you, Theo. Worst penalty of all time, possibly Eze last week.
I haven't seen it because when you sent me the link to watch it, I was in Madrid. I didn't see it. What was it like? Was it a P-roller?
It was horrible, Theo. You know, like when you're 8 years
Worse than
old.
Saka's
when
penalty.
you're 8 years old and you can't kick the ball hard enough 12 yards.
I was inside the Bernabeu the same day. Weird that they had Premier League on the same night as Champions League. But anyway, I saw Saka try a chip and it was good. Was that worse than Eze's? Which had better technique?
Eze's was worse, Theo. Saka, it was like, if that goes in, it's like, you've just done that. That is a statement.
You've done that at the Real Madrid.
Yeah, exactly, at the Bernabeu. But it didn't come off. And my thinking at the time was, you don't do that in that situation.
With Mateta, there's not much missing because there's 18 goals from him in 22 games.
Yeah.
This is the sort of fixture he could be licking his lips in, Dad, at home to Bournemouth, hoping that it won't be like the reverse fixture, which was a 0-0.
I watched Bournemouth last week. I thought it would be a good game against Fulham, and it wasn't. Fulham didn't turn up. It was a really poor game of football, but a clean sheet to Bournemouth. But you look at their record in London, last 11 games, 0 wins.
Ooh, that's not good. Even though Justin Kluivert loves a goal on the road. 11 away goals this season. Actually, take that back, it's 12. And a lot of them have come in London. Will there be another? Will Bournemouth score in this game, Dad?
Is Kluivert back for that game? Because he missed the last game. He was in the stand. I don't know why.
They only play him for away games because he only performs them.
Yeah. Do you know what,
It's
Theo?
a weird rule.
This is a weird one. It could easily be a draw, but I'm going to go with home advantage. Crystal Palace to win 2-1.
I'm going to go 0-0, like the reverse fixture. No Mateta Kluivert party, I'm sorry.
Aston Villa against Newcastle United, now is 7th against 3rd. One of the games of the weekend. 2 teams who are chasing Champions League football this season. Now, let's talk about Villa first, Theo. You were there, home and away. They could have done it, couldn't they?
Yeah, they could have done it, and they made that comeback in the second half. I was sat there at Villa Park thinking, okay, this is done. You know, PSG scored early. At half-time, their fans were loving it. They were holding up the little choreo they put at the start. They were in control. They'd come from Parc des Princes, got the job done there. They've scored again here. Hakimi, brilliant. And then there was that glimpse of hope where Villa scored 2 out of nowhere, and all of a sudden only needed 1 more.
Yes.
You know, and John McGinn, I mean, bloody hell, what a strike that was in front of us. You know, that probably sent the Prince William and the rest of the royal family in absolute awe in their box. I don't know if they were there in the second leg.
They
were there, of course. It's great to see. Because I was on the Eurostar back from Parc des Princes, video out soon on the main channel, and part of the royal family, part of the friends and family of the royals were on my Eurostar. And they were going, oh, please let me go past you. I was about to get up to it with my bags, and I was like, oh my God, I saw you on TV last night next to Prince William and George. Like, mental. Right now, I feel like I'm bringing a lot of luck to Villa. I won't be at this match, therefore they're going to lose.
Wow.
They're going to lose. There's something about the Geordies. They're red hot. They can set a record being the first team to score 5 goals in 3 consecutive games in the Premier League.
Absolutely zero chance of that happening. Look at the last 15 home games. Aston Villa have won the last 4 games, but Newcastle have won the last 5 games. And that man, Harvey Barnes
on fire.
3 goals in 2 games.
Anthony Gordon, Harvey Barnes. Then you've got so many players off the bench. You've got Isaac waiting for it. There's just so much going on in that team.
Yes, there is.
You know, they're doing it for Eddie Howe, and you can, hopefully he's all well and good. They're fighting for him. I can feel it on the pitch, and they're going to come away with 3 points. I truly believe that. Aston Villa 1, Newcastle 2, and it's a pivotal game as well for European spots.
Yeah.
Champions League still in the race.
Yeah, and I second that about Eddie Howe. Get well soon, mate. And we look forward to seeing you back on the touchline. This is going to be a good game of football between 2 really informed sides. I'm going to sit on the fence. 1-1. Ipswich Town against Arsenal is 18th against 2nd. 2 teams at the opposite ends of the table. And actually, by the end of this game week, Ipswich might be down. There's certain permutations. Ipswich last week here, Stamford Bridge, got a point. Ben Johnson, goal and assist. Wagging the tail a little bit.
Did you see Liam Delap solo run in that game?
Brilliant.
He just took it round these Chelsea players. They look like mugs. They probably are mugs because right now Chelsea just suck. They just lost to Legia Warsaw and they don't like their owner. But they went through, so I guess it's all right. Having said all that, Ipswich are playing for the fans.
Yes.
And they know they're down. It's a good community feel in that. They'll still sell it out and everybody will be there, loud and proud. And to be honest, Arsenal play a second team here. They need to focus on Paris.
Yes.
Parc des Princes and then the Emirates. 2 massive games, pivotal for the Arsenal history. They are now the favourites to win the Champions League. Arsenal are now 27% chance. They are slight favourites in the probability list.
Wow.
And maybe it's to do with the legs. They can win it in Munich and they can make that iconic. But the Premier League right now, considering the amount of points, they don't need to focus too much on a Champions League race. But there's now 5 spots for that and they'll probably keep it if they win the competition. Surely, Dad, they'll play a second team. They're going to drop all the main men.
They should rest their main men, Theo. Now,
they've done well enough.
You look at Arsenal's season, and it's incredible, really. They've only lost 3 times. Liverpool have only lost twice. The problem this season is too many draws. And this game has actually got possible draw written all over it.
And if Ipswich, I actually think will put up more of a fight than Real Madrid.
Yeah.
They will.
Yeah.
Because they play as a team, they'll take their half chances, and it'll be a bit rotated. Maybe there'll be 1 goal in it. I'm going for 2. What do you think?
Let's go from the Bernabeu back to Portman Road.
Where I'd rather rather be?
Oh, Ipswich 1, Arsenal 2.
Nice.
Manchester United against Wolverhampton Wanderers is 14th against 16th. It's one of the form teams of the league against Manchester United. But let's wind it back again. Midweek, yesterday, Theo, what happened at Old Trafford?
I know, unbelievable. European heritage there, Dad. 5-4. They needed to win that game. At one stage, with 10 men, Lyon were ahead in extra time. Ryan Cherky, cold as ice. And then boom. After that second half of extra time, United just gave it everything. Maguire, number 9. They were throwing every player forward, and it worked for Amorim. They got the goals. Finally, a comeback. Something to cheer about Manchester United this season. They needed that moment for the fans and the manager and the staff, and they've got it. And now, the Europa League final in Bilbao, which, by the way, see you there if you're going.
Yes.
It could be exciting.
Theo, I just couldn't believe we were in the pub and the game was 4-2 on somebody else's screen.
Yeah.
And they were like Londoners and they were cheering Lyon. Suddenly, goal, goal, goal. How can that happen, Theo? And how can a team,
Lyon were having a lot of fun.
honestly, as mediocre, as poor as Manchester United, be in a final?
How can a centre-back who's worked their whole life to score goals from corners and defend be the man in the pivot of the attack?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, but it's working for Amorim, and he got the job done. And you can say everything. You can say, yeah, it was 10 men. They were fighting for their bloody lives out there. But I'm going to sit on the fence here because Vitor Pereira is cooking a tactical masterclass right now for Wolves. He's got Strand Larsen and Sarabia and Cunha and all the boys just playing oozing football right now.
It's a very tough game for Man United, and I'm going to sit on the fence here, like you, Theo, a 1-1 draw.
Wow, I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw.
Yes.
High scoring. I can see both teams going for it, especially after United have just seen a 9-goal thriller. They will get some goals, they'll leak some as well. One to watch. I think it could go to a 3-2 at some point.
Yeah.
And at that point, we're both wrong, but let's see what happens. High scoring, 4.5 plus goals.
Fulham against Chelsea, now 9th against 6th. This is the Fulham derby, Theo.
It is, yeah.
Now Fulham hoping to get into Europe, but if they play like they did against Bournemouth, by the way, they only woke up in the last 20 minutes, they'll get nowhere near it.
Yeah, but Marco Silva turns it around in a week. That's what he does, Dad. He goes from losing away and then goes and beat Liverpool 2-1 at home.
Yeah.
And Chelsea, off the back of their awful connection with their fan base, and I know they got through in the Conference League, but by the skin of their teeth, they lost 2-1 at home. You know, it's getting embarrassing for the Blues, even though they've succeeded. There is a lack of fight in that squad. There's a lot of problems, and I think the Whites will dominate this at home.
So I'm going to put you on the spot here, Theo. There's 7 teams who are looking for those 5 Champions League places. 2 of them are going to miss out. Who's going to miss out? Now, I'm going to start with a name called Nottingham Forest. I think they'll miss out.
They're high-flying.
They're high-flying, but they're just falling away. They're stumbling at the moment. Tell me, of those 5 very good teams, I would go for Forest and possibly Chelsea.
Forest have a pivotal game against Tottenham that we're going to be predicting, so stay tuned on this video. And hit the like if you're new here as well, because I never ask people to hit the like, but it honestly massively helps us.
Yes.
But going back to Fulham-Chelsea, it's a West London derby. I've just seen Fulham beat Liverpool 2-1. Muniz is just firing.
Yeah.
In big club matches, in the traditional Big Six, he seems to score against them every time at home. And I think he did it in the reverse fixture too, so I'm going to back him. I think Muniz gets the winner and Fulham win this game 2-1.
Ooh, that is a very brave prediction.
You can't back the Blues.
Here.
I actually think I'm backing the favourite now.
And I'm going to go for a traditional Thogden 1-1 draw. Leicester City against Liverpool now is 19th against 1st, and if Liverpool win and Arsenal lose, Liverpool are crowned the champions.
Yeah, I'm lifting my brew to that because it could be another moment of excitement at Leicester-Liverpool. The last time I remember when Trent scored that incredible volley, and I think they won, was it 5-0 plus at Leicester away? And I believe it was that pivotal match that set them in that final route to win the Premier League. But they're here again without Trent, but they're here with a squad that they love. I don't know if Curtis Jones will be fitting in at right back again this time, but whoever they play there, Onslaught has a system and it's working in the Premier League. I think that there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that they score at least 2 goals here, win the game, and they could win the Premier League if Arsenal mess up at Portman Road, which could happen if they drop all their players. So, Liverpool fans that are going, enjoy the Premier League title. It feels like a lot of the focus now is on the Champions League, but we can't ignore their incredible run the whole season through. Mo Salah and Van Dijk leading that, and now both of them got new contracts. So quite an exciting time to be a Liverpool fan.
It is, Theo. Now, first of all, Leicester City, massive shout out, you scored a goal last week, and that wasn't even meant to be sarcastic.
Yeah.
Liverpool, meanwhile, Theo, just got the win against West Ham. It was that man, Virgil van Dijk, who got the winner. Liverpool were poor in the second half, but it doesn't matter. They got the 3 points. Mo Salah, Theo, I've got to talk about him again and again and again. 45 goal contributions.
Holy.
I think that's in 32 games. That is just next level. It's never been done before in the history of the Premier League.
Talking about never been done before, Liverpool never give out massive wallet contracts until Mo Salah turns up, the king of Egypt. He has such big demands that I think even Saudi Arabia said no to him.
His demands were too high for Saudi Arabia. That is the gossip.
Is that the first time ever? Is that the first time ever Saudi have said, actually, that's too much money?
Well, they don't usually do that, but I think he'll be there in 1 or 2 years. I think he's going to be brilliant next year, Theo. He hasn't dropped off. This has been his best season ever. Leicester 0, Liverpool 2.
Yeah, I'm going to go a bit more high scoring. I think El Canouse, the Moroccan's going to sneak a goal because Liverpool don't keep as many clean sheets as they previously did under Klopp. I'm going to go Leicester 1, Liverpool 3. And if they win the league this weekend, congratulations, Liverpool. I think, did we predict that? We predicted that.
I
what
think we probably predicted Man City to win the league along with everybody else.
Okay. We cut that out then.
And finally, Tottenham Hotspur against Nottingham Forest is 15th against 4th. Now, at the start of the season, admit it, if I said 15th and 4th, you'd think Spurs are 4th, Forest are 15th, wouldn't you? But it isn't. It's the complete opposite. Spurs this season are the 3rd highest scoring team. The problem is, defensively, woeful.
What about their clean sheet in Frankfurt to go through to the next round of Europa League?
Where does that come from? Because if you see those highlights from last week against Wolves, it was pitiful, Theo. It was beyond a joke.
I was in the boozer drinking my Guinness, and on my Sky Go, I had the game up. And I swear Frankfurt were playing like a Sunday League team. I don't know what it is. I don't know who their forwards are. And if there's a Frankfurt fan somehow watching this, please comment down below. Can you just sell your whole forward line? I mean, I would have scored a brace with the chances that they set up for themselves there. Maybe it's the pressure. Frankfurt have literally won the Europa League before, so history can't be the answer. Maybe it's the new manager. Maybe it's the team that they've got is too young. But it just felt like Tottenham were more experienced in their manner in that knockout round of the Europa League. Solanke and the lads got the job done, but they really shouldn't have. I mean, that was, their defence was so open, it was unbelievable. Congratulations, Tottenham, and I'm actually very happy for them. I want to see a Tottenham United final. That could be incredible.
Well, you know what? Ange wins things in his second year. That's what he said, isn't it?
It's happening. Eventually it's happening. Mate, I'm going to win it, mate. In Bilbao, mate. No, he's got to beat Athletic Bilbao first.
What accent is that, Theo? But anyway, let's get back to this game.
Barbie, mate.
Because Nottingham Forest,
that's what we do, mate. We're going to beat Forest,
lost the last 2 games. Will they lose 3 in a row?
No, they won't. They're going to win here.
I am backing a high-scoring game. Tottenham Hotspur 2, Nottingham Forest 2.
I'm going to flip the switch here. I think Forest are going to turn up and get a result. 2-1 to Forest.
Wow.
I don't think that's a wow. I think that's a, if you looked at the odds.
True.
You know, they need it to maintain their top 5. As you said, they're creeping up in the Champions League spots. This is the time for Nuno to turn it around.
I just think, and I'm sorry to say this because I hope it doesn't happen, I think Nottingham Forest will bottle a Champions League place. Still being a great season, I think they're going to drop out of the top 5.
Marinakis and Edu will not allow that to happen. They will step in.
Is Marinakis going to go onto the pitch?
He'll be on the pitch. I met him in the Champions League final at Wembley as well.
I know you did, yeah.
Yeah.
Larger
Crazy.
than life. Right.
Crazy. Anyway, on that note, please subscribe. I know that sounds weird, and I'd never say this on the second channel, but we're actually really close to 150,000 subs.
Wow, cool.
So half the people that watch these videos, 50%, aren't actually subscribed, but watch it because it comes up on their homepage.
Wait a minute, there's a person there.
Please just subscribe. I mean, it's completely free to do that. And if we hit 150, we'll have a big promotion party. Thogden will say the famous quote, okay? So subscribe right now. Thank you for watching. I mean, I didn't think I was that interested in the Premier League, but after talking about the games with this mug dad, I'm actually quite excited.
How many goals did you score last night?
0, but I ran the game from defence because the best form of attack is defence. Enjoy your weekend, guys. Bye-bye.